I think we're ready to get started. So I am going to ask everyone to mute your microphones, but not your imagination. We are going to imagine together what could be. And that's the theme of our program. And, you know, we have this pandemic that keeps us inside, keeps us away from other people, but it it can't stop our imagination. So let's imagine together that just for right now, we are in a coffee house. There's bookcases against the walls full of games and puzzles, well-worn couches with soft pillows, low light and the scent of coffee. Maybe you have your coffee cup with you right now. And we're sitting together in anticipation. We're together in a warm space while outside the air is chilled. And how good it feels to be together in community. And soon we're going to enjoy a spiritual experience because music is what feelings sound like. So sit back in your comfy worn couch in this coffee house and let's imagine what could be together. Jay?
Well, thank you so much, Kat, and thanks for everybody for being here. Our first performer is Bill McClellan. And I met Bill many years ago in Claremont. He was a graduate student there. And I didn't realize Bill is also a musician. He studies Whitehead and is very good at the most abstract of philosophies, but he's also very good at the concrete things. He's a carpenter as well as a musician, as well as a philosopher. And the song that Bill is going to present to us today, he's going to present two, one now and one at the end. But this song is about the cuckoo, the bird. And at first I thought, oh, really? How can I link that with process philosophy? And besides it being a little cuckoo itself. And he sent me a note and he said that the cuckoos appear in folklore all over the world, Japan, India, Europe, as icons of dissatisfied love, the adventure of life, sadness in life, danger in life, romantic flings, and the broken family. Now, I don't think beginning with songs about broken families is exactly the way we want to begin, but actually it kind of is, because one feature of process thought is it's honest to the concreteness of life. And one thing that Whitehead proposed is that life in its concreteness always begins with desire, and more specifically, a desire for satisfaction, for harmony and intensity relative to the circumstances at hand. And sometimes that unfolds in happy ways, and sometimes in sad ways, and lots of times in in-between ways, but always it's there. And if the cuckoo represents that, then we are a people of the cuckoo. We are a people who want to be honest to life. And with that, I'll let Bill take over. Say a little more, Bill, to introduce yourself and then jump in.
Well, thank you, Jay. Yeah, you've picked up on the themes, all right. That's looking ahead to what might be. Desire is operating in a gap between now and the future. It's the appetite and the shape of appetite as it attractions pull us forward. And the Cuckoo is an old song, and it achieved its lyrical identity kind of late among the old songs, but it goes back to Elizabethan balladry and earlier. And there's one verse in here that has an allusion to the 4th of July. So I think it's kind of particularly American, this version that I sing. And I pull it from North Carolina, a guy named Clarence Ashley. The banjo is an old instrument, as you probably all know, comes from Africa and it became manufactured. And this is a heavy kind of modernistic, like from 1920s or so, it achieved this kind of shape. Here's the cuckoo. Well, the cuckoo is a pretty bird. As she wobbles, as she flies, she never cries cuckoo till the 4th day of July. Gonna build me log cabin on a mountain so high, so I can see Willie as he goes walking by. Jack of diamonds, Jack of diamonds, I know you of old. You've robbed my poor pocket of my silver and my gold. Well, the cuckoo sings a question that is danger to think or say. Are you happy with your pleasure? Is there more might come your way? Well, the cuckoo is a pretty bird, and she warbles as she flies. She never cries cuckoo till the 4th day of July. Cuckoo, there you go.
That's a great way to begin, Bill. Thank you so much. You've got us thinking in fresh ways already. Now, our next performer is Sheri Kling. And I believe that she is the single person in the world that knows the most about the psychology of Carl Jung and the philosophy of Whitehead, where they intersect. Sheri really is the world's foremost expert at the intersection of the philosophy of Whitehead and Carl Jung. And she's written a wonderful book on Jung and Whitehead that just came out, I guess, half a year or so ago, that's definitive. She's also a dream worker, and she helps people quite literally with working with their dreams. She's a remarkable theologian as well. And Sheri in this song is going to speak to another aspect of Whitehead's philosophy we're probably pretty familiar with. It's the whole-making nearness of God. So it's that feature of the universe that dwells within us and yet beyond us, seeking our wholeness individually and collectively. Sheri's song says it much better than I just did. Sheri, thanks so much for being with us.
Thank you, Jay. So glad to be here. I'll just want to share with you that when I wrote this song, I had been preparing to give a keynote address to the Hayden Institute's Summer Dream and Spirituality Conference in May of 2019. And so I had prepared a talk, and as part of this, so I was in that talk sharing this interweaving of Whitehead and Jung and talking about how they're so integrative and helpful for us because they both talk about this whole-making nearness of God. And I was also weaving in a little bit of Richard Rohr's, I had just finished reading his book, The Universal Christ. So kind of those three things come together in a stream in this song called The Whole-Making Nearness of God. In cosmos and psyche, the sacred is near. We're interconnected, so what shall we fear? In each forming moment, God's new will appear, the whole-making nearness of God. We cannot carry the glory or shame. We cannot heal all the pain in our name. Living in Christ trades compassion for blame, the whole-making nearness of God. Even with the suffering we know. God's possibilities yearning to grow. Grace, creativity comes in the flow. The whole making nearness of God. Let it flow, let it flow, that the world may know. Seeking the best for each being that lives, never excluding this cosmos forgives. Wholeness and healing, the love that God gives, the whole making nearness of God. So let it flow, let it flow, that the world may know. Seeking the best for each being that lives, never excluding this cosmos forgives. Wholeness and healing, the love that God gives, the whole making nearness of God. The whole making nearness of God. The whole making nearness of God.
It's so beautiful, Sheri.
Thank you.
Your voice is so remarkable, and the way you point to that side of life that's within us but more than us and pulls us toward wholeness speaks to us all. Our next performer is a former student of mine, and her name is Hope Montgomery. And she went to Hendrix College, where I taught, and she majored both in religious studies and in English literature. She's one of the few people I know who's actually read the whole of Moby Dick and actually wrote a song about it. Hope is a songwriter in her own right. If you go on Spotify and do a search for Hope Montgomery, you'll find a lot of music by Hope. Hope, are you there somewhere?
I am.
Hope, which song are you going to sing today?
Today I'm going to be singing the Solstice song.
Okay. Well, I love that song, and I tried to link it in a way with process thought. A lot of Hope's songs deal with a dimension of Whitehead's thought you might call tragic beauty. And you know, in the last chapter of Adventures of Ideas, the chapter on peace, he talks about a harmony of harmonies that unfolds everything, absolutely everything. But that includes the tragedy. And amid the openness to tragedy, not apart from that, there is a fresh source of novelty, of creativity, of hope. And I think that Hope's song, for me, the song, The Solstice, speaks to that, that side of life that is hope-giving without hiding from the tragedy and the sadness. Thanks, Hope. You want to say anything about your song now that I've interpreted it? You want to say anything?
Yeah, for me, this song is a bit about just finding light and anticipating that more darkness may come, and kind of the cyclic nature that those two relationships have, that we're going to go through both. And this song has a relationship with another song that I've written that also kind of plays with those ideas. So this song is just about waiting for the solstice.
With your feet on the ground, you're singing aloud, you breathe easily. You're climbing the trees, you're telling me you can see everything. solstice, my love, the signs from above. Remember the tide and the moon. The solstice is coming soon. Be patient, my love. There's no need to rush. There's no urgency. The days are still long, so Atlas stays strong. So got the growth there's to seek. Remember the rain, the salt in your veins. Remember the salt in your wounds. The solstice is coming soon. Stay up all day and part of the night. Teach me the native songs and soak up the light. The solstice, my love, the signs from above. Remember the tide and the moon. The solstice is coming soon. Remember the rain, the salt in your veins. Remember the salt in your wound. The solstice is coming soon.
Hope works at a Methodist summer camp in Oregon, Camp Magruder.
That's right.
And she specializes in, among other things, outdoor ministries that help people get a sense for the land and the water and discover the salt in their veins and wait for that solstice. Thank you so much, Hope.
Thanks.
Our next performer is, if Sheri Kling was the world's expert on Jung and Whitehead, Don Viney is one of the world's experts on Teilhard de Chardin, and also the philosopher Charles Hartshorne. And as many of us know, it's not just Whitehead that launched process philosophy, it was also Charles Hartshorne. Don's written many, many books on Hartshorne and on Teilhard, and he's written a song about creation from a Teilhardian perspective. Don, I'll let you tell us a thing or two about the song and sing it for us, please.
All right. Let's hope that you can hear me. Yeah, I came to Teilhard was sort of my first love in philosophy. Can you hear me? Yeah, I guess I'm okay there. He was my first love in philosophy before I knew anything about disciplinary boundaries, and I found out that philosophers don't consider him a philosopher. But then I got sidetracked for about 30 years into the study of Whitehead and Hartshorne, and then thanks to the 2005 conference at Claremont, where Whiteheadians and Teilhardians came together, I sort of rediscovered Teilhard de Chardin. So this song is based on a 1934 piece that he wrote with a strange title of The Evolution of Chastity, but the song is based on a well-known thing that you'd find on the internet if you Google Teilhard. And it's in English and French. I've used Teilhard's words. It's called Teilhard's Fire. Come the day when mastering the winds, the tides, and space, gravitation to its secrets known, we will tap release for God, love's energies entire, hearts of others cherished as our own. And then for a second time in the history of the world, we'll have once again discovered fire. The sun is scattered in the rain, just so is love divine. No two droplets quite the same, yet in union shine. Quelques jours après l'espace, les vents et les marées, et même la gravitation, nous capterons pour Dieu les énergies de l'amour. C'est l'étoile de nos espérances. Et alors, une deuxième fois, dans l'histoire du monde, nous aurons encore trouvé le feu. Amour divin aura grandi en nous et par lequel l'union différencie un rêve universel. And then for a second time in the history of the world, we'll have once again discovered fire.
Don, thank you very much.
You bet.
Really so beautiful. Don, can you remind us of the quotation from Teilhard? How does it go about discovering fire a second time?
Let's see, I've got it here in French. The day will come when, after mastering the ether, he says ether, I say space. If he were writing it today, he would say space. The day will come when, after mastering the space, the winds, the tides, gravitation, will capture for God the energies of love, and then for a second time in the history of the world, man will have discovered fire.
Thank you. I have to say that that's such a beautiful image of the rediscovery of fire through love. And all of you know that the Cobb Institute, and there's our mentor, John Cobb, in one of those squares somewhere. John, if you would wave to us. You know, I think he discovered fire somewhere in his life, and he spread it a whole lot. And he's got countless students, and I'm among them, who have been influenced and shaped by him. And now we have this institute, the Cobb Institute, and John Fahey, who is the chair of the board, is with us somewhere. John, will you just wave to everybody? John Fahey. There he is, yeah. And the Cobb Institute has really gotten off to a great start. And one of its fundamental commitments is to helping the city of Pomona, California, and in principle, all cities become what you can call compassionate communities. And so marshaling the ideas in the process tradition that have to do with compassion, that have to do with love, that have to do with justice, not only as an affection between people, but concretely as well, in how you farm, how you build buildings, how you govern, how you're together as a people, and not only as a people, but people with the earth. And so this event that we're having today is just plain fun, and I'm having a great time. It's also a little bit of a fundraiser. How do you do a fundraiser in process thought? Nobody knows. But one thing's clear, it's persuasion, not coercion. And so Kat, I think, is going to say a word about that side of things, and then we're going to go on with the music.
Thank you, Jay. Gosh, Jay's already mentioned a lot of the great things that we're doing. The list of activities that the Cobb Institute is doing is so long, I don't have time to go through it right now, but I think most of you know all the great work we're doing in Pomona and in other areas. And that work gets done by countless hours of volunteering, dedication, and also donations from you. So thank you so much for your support. It's allowing us to continue our good work, and I hope that you feel that this concert is our gift to you for the support that you give to us. So please do remember to donate whenever you can, and as often as you like, and we will get back to the music. Thank you.
Hey, Kat, do they know how to donate if they want to?
I will put something in the chat, but all you need to do is go to our website. All the information is there, but I will put something in the chat.
Our next performer is a colleague of mine at Hendrix College. He taught biology at Hendrix College. And he's a singer-songwriter himself. His name is Joe Lombardi. And Joe and I sing in a couple of bands here in Central Arkansas. The one I think that we most enjoy is we sing for folks in senior citizen centers, folks suffering from dementia and Alzheimer's. And we go and we try to offer moments of joy and moments of community. And we did it this week. We do it all the time. Joe's story to me is so interesting. And you're going to hear it in this song. He grew up in Philadelphia. And I guess you might call him a city boy at first. But he discovered the more than human world. He discovered the hills and rivers, trees and stars. One thing I appreciate about Joe is he is a healthy, creative agnostic. That side of Whitehead that has had to do with God, I think Joe is a little confused by and a little skeptical about. But he does believe in spirit. And he sees and finds spirit throughout the more than human world and in human life as well. So Joe, I'll let you take it from here. Say a word about your song and sing it for us, please.
Okay, first, Hope Montgomery, great seeing you and hearing you. It's been a while. This song is a reflection about a early experience I had at a summer camp as a camper and also as a counselor. And as a biologist, E.O. Wilson talks about biophilia, which is our nature to connect, our human nature to connect with the natural world. And I thought about this, and probably about 30 years after the camp experience, I wrote this, and it's called Spirit. As As a child growing up in Philadelphia, I had not much of nature to see, but streets of asphalt and building brick was how most of the world seemed to me. Then my summers I'd spend in the country, in the East Pennsylvania hills, at a camp near farmlands and forests and fields, a serenity that dwells with me still. And over the years I would learn there about Native American lore, and I began to feel one with the natural and wild, like those who had lived long before. And a voice from within me would whisper through the rustle of the red maple trees, as the spirit that nurtures the universe spoke in the sound of the soft summer breeze. Oh, I'll be here as long as the mountain, the rivers, the lakes, and the trees. Until then, may I watch eagles soar through the sky and the salmon come home from the seas. As I watch over all of Earth's children, the land, air, and water so blue, and all of the creatures that never ask why, I'm a spirit within each of you. And it spoke from the stream I would swim in, and the willows that shaded its shore, and the whippoorwills sung as the nighttime drew on, or the wind through the old cabin door. From campfires on cool summer's evenings, with the flames dance and crackling song, or the chirp of the cricket, or the katydid's trill that would comfort me all night long. And the spirit remained always with me. Through the seasons I would still hear it call, through the cornfields in summer that covered the hills, or the gold leaves that colored the fall, or a winter's night snow on the fence road, bright mountain drifts reaching the moon, or a bullfrog spring bellow that would lull me to sleep, to awake to a mockingbird's tune. But encroachment by man was relentless, as the life of the forest grew still, and the bulldozers plowed out the wide logging roads, tall trees to the old lumber mill, and the forests were transformed to houses and yards, the fields to apartments and malls, and gone were the katydids, turtles, and streams, and the whippoorwills' long evening call, and gone was the red fox that slipped through the fence row, the wildflowers that blossomed each year, and the blackberry thickets that bordered the fields that fed the box turtles and deer. For their homes have been taken away from us all, and we'll suffer the loss, I believe. For I know that the death of my campestral home left the spirit within me to retrieve. It said I am the soul of the universe, I'm the wisdom, I am the soul of the universe, I'm the seasons from winter to fall, I'm the life of the water, the air, and the land, and the creatures that bound in them all. And I'll speak to whoever will open her heart to a wisdom we harbor within, that we are all one with the stars and the sun, with the earth and with each living thing. Oh, I'll be here as long as the mountain, rivers, the lakes, and the trees, and forever may I watch eagles soar through the sky and the salmon come home from the seas. As I watch over all of Earth's children, The land, air, and water is so blue, and all of the creatures that never ask why. I'm a spirit within each of you. And all of the creatures, even those who ask why, I'm a spirit within each of you.
Joe, thank you so much.
Thank you.
And even all the creatures, even the creatures that ask why, I'm a spirit within each of you. So beautiful. So Joe's song mentioned bulldozers. And the truth about what we're doing to ourselves and to the more than human world. And there are a lot of singers that have sung songs about that. There's a lot of songs about that problem. One of them is Joni Mitchell. And our very own Susannah Stubbs, I've asked to sing a Joni Mitchell song. So let me tell you a little bit about Susannah. Susannah also went to Hendrix College. She was a creative writing major. She writes incredibly well. She is also a graphic artist, and she's the graphic artist for the Cobb Institute. So when you see signs describing what we're about or what we seek to be, a lot of times those come from Susannah and from Kat. Both of them are tremendously creative souls. So I've foisted on Susannah the task of singing Joni Mitchell's, what is it called? Big Yellow Taxi?
Taxi. Yes.
Yeah. So thank you so much for giving us a shot, Susannah, and we'll listen in and you just be Joni Mitchell, okay?
Okay, big shoes to fill. Yeah, the first time I actually read about Joni Mitchell for one of my creative writing classes, there's a great Zadie Smith essay about Joni Mitchell that I would recommend, just about her voice and how visceral and real it is. Yeah, and that's something that I'm aspiring towards. Okay. Can I start over? Oh, they paved paradise, put up a parking lot with a pink hotel, a boutique, and a swinging night spot. Oh, don't it always seem to go, but you don't know what you got till it's gone. They paved paradise, put up a parking lot. Ooh. Yeah, they took all the trees and put them in a tree museum, and they charged all the people $1.50 just to see them. Oh, don't it always seem to go, but you don't know what you got till it's gone. They paved paradise, put up a parking lot. Ooh. Hey, farmer, farmer, put away that DDT now. Give me spots on my apples, believe me, the birds and the bees. Please don't let it always seem to go, but you don't know what you got till it's gone. They paved paradise, put up a parking lot. Oh, one late one night, heard the screen door slam, and a big yellow taxi took away my old man. Oh, don't it always seem to go, that you don't know what you got till it's gone. They pay paradise, put up a parking. Don't it always seem to come that you don't know what you got till it's gone. They pay paradise, put up a parking lot. Oh, they pay paradise, put up a parking lot. Oh, they pay paradise, put up a parking lot.
Well, Susannah, I think we should just stop paving so much of paradise, don't you think? And we should stop putting up so many parking lots.
I agree.
And you know, some people say that it's up to the to your generation to do that. I don't think so. We don't think so. We think that it's up to every generation, old and young and in between. So you're a shining voice and presence in the process community on the younger side, and I'm a voice on the older side, and there's lots in between, and together we're going to make good things happen. Speaking of paving paradise, it's always nice sometimes to look at paradise and to enjoy the sheer presence of a gorgeous universe. We're a small planet in a really big universe, and we're sad, but we're kind of beautiful. And Kat Reeves has developed a video illustrative of that, and she uses the photography of one of our beloved friends in the process community, Thomas Oord. So the video you're about to see is Kathleen Reeves and Thomas Oord together in the form of a short video. Kat, thank you.
And let me say a little bit about this video and how it came about. I see Tom Oord's photography on social media all the time, and I just love it. And I'm just amazed by his eye. And I just wanted to do something with it, and I asked his permission, and he gave me access to all his photographs in his files. And as I was going through them, I was overwhelmed. I was moved to tears by the beauty of this photography of our beautiful Earth. And so I started working with it to create this video. And I guess I would say I felt the lure. A story started to emerge. It wasn't going in the direction that I thought it was going to go. I could see that it had to go a certain way. And what it is in this video, Tom is our tour guide, and we are connected to the Earth through him. And he's going to take us along on a journey through his beautiful photography and that experience of the divine in nature.
Standing on these mountains and plains, far away from the rolling ocean, still my dry land heart can say, I've been sailing all my life now, never harbor or port have I known. The wide universe is the ocean I travel, and the earth is my blue boat home. Sun, my sail, and moon, my rudder, as I ply the starry sea, leaning over the edge in wonder, casting questions into the deep, drifting here with my ship's companions, all we kindred pilgrim souls, making our way by the lights of the heavens in our beautiful blue boat home. I give thanks to the waves upholding me, hail the great winds urging me on. Greet the infinite sea before me, sing the sky my sailor's song. I was born upon the fathoms, never harbor or port have I known. The wide universe is the ocean I travel, and the earth is my blue boat home. The wide universe is the ocean I travel, and the earth is my blue boat home.
Lovely.
Oh, you're on mute, Jay.
I think I was on mute for a good reason. There are really no words to describe how beautiful that is. And the credits there at the end, they don't mention Kathleen Reeves, and they sure should. So you pulled that together, and it really captures so much of the spirit that we want to be about. And you're such an important voice in that. Bill McClellan is going to sing. We've got two more songs, and I'm going to ask John Cobb to say a little word to us before we close. Bill, why don't you go first? Describe the song for us and share it with us if you don't mind.
The song, the inspiration for the song came on a bus. I was taking a trip from Tidewater area of Virginia up to New York City, and I was just on a bus with a bunch of people. And as I walked on the bus, I thought, well, we're all here together, encapsulated. And at some moment, I glanced at one of the passengers and another of the passengers, and I felt that I could feel what they were feeling. And it was a strong feeling, and I was feeling they were thinking of their loved ones, and somehow they're just the self-reflexivity of the feeling of the love, and we're encapsulated together, and it just kind of became a crucible, and this song came out. And oh, mother and father, when you're far away, through the miles and the years, you can't hear what I say. But there's no distance the heart can't break through. My soul flies to your side for loving you. Souls fly to love, to their greatest desire, each soul in its own time and style. They may crawl through darkness and burn in the fire, but they'll fly to love after a while. Listen, my children, blood of my heart, though far away, we're never apart. I'm feeling something of what you go through. My soul flies to your side for loving you. Souls fly to love like a moth to a candle without knowing reason or rhyme. The most angry soul that no one can handle will fly to love in its own time. Does it happen to you as it happens to me? The heart reaches out where eyes do not see. Anywhere, anytime, below or above. Souls fly to the hearts of the ones that they love. Souls fly to love, it's one of their graces. They resemble what they're thinking of. Regardless of how bad or how low their places, finally, souls fly to love. Suddenly, souls fly to love. Here and now, souls fly to love. Thank you.
So Bill's song reminds me and all of us of two themes in process thought. And one is that we can actually feel each other's feelings. We don't just see people with our eyes. At some level, we feel their emotions. We feel their aspirations. We feel their desires. We feel their emotional states. We prehend their prehensions. That's process language. And the other theme is that somehow everything gets enfolded into something wide and deep. As it passes away, it simultaneously gets enfolded to something wide and deep, almost like a life, the life of the universe. And Whitehead called that the consequent nature of God. This past week, we in the process community lost one of our friends, the first chair of the Cobb Institute, John Gingrich, had his last breath, but probably not the end of his journey. But he had his last breath here on Earth, and we miss him a lot. And so we've been grieving a bit about that, but also he died in his sleep. And those aren't bad ways. That's not a bad way to die. So we're okay about that. But one of John Gingrich's favorite songs was a song written by somebody at Pilgrim Place for John Cobb. And so imagine somebody where John Cobb lives, Pilgrim Place, writing a song for John Cobb, which John Gingrich, our first chair, also loved. So we want to have this as our last song, and then I do hope John Cobb will say a word. So this is that song. It's also called Spirit. And we dedicate this to John Gingrich. So I think this is the person who wrote the song, singing it as videoed. Here goes.
Spirit, Spirit of gentleness, flow through the wilderness, calling and free. Spirit, Spirit of restlessness, steer me from placidness, wind on the sea. You moved on the waters, you called to the deep, then you coaxed up the mountains from the valleys of sleep, and over the eons you called to each thing, awake from your slumber and rise on your wings. You swept through the desert, you stung with the sand, and you goaded your people with a law and a land. When they were confounded with their idols and lies, then you spoke through your prophets to open their eyes. Oh, Spirit of gentleness, blow through the wilderness, calling and free. Spirit of restlessness, steer me from placidness, wind on the sea. You sang in a stable, you cried from a hill, and you whispered in silence when the whole world was still. Down in the city, you called once again when you blew through your people on the rush of the wind. Oh, Spirit of gentleness, blow through the wilderness, calling and free. Spirit of restlessness, steer me from placidness, wind on the sea. You call from tomorrow, you break ancient schemes, from the bondage of sorrow, the captives dream dreams. Our women see visions, our men clear their eyes with bold new decision. Your people arise. Oh, Spirit of gentleness, blow through the wilderness, calling and free. Spirit of restlessness, steer me from placidness, wind on the sea.
So that was recorded yesterday, and I want to offer a special thanks to Ron Hines, who's with us. And I think Ron Hines is on the board of the Cobb Institute. I know he's on the board of the Cobb Institute. I think he was also the camera person for that. So Ron, would you just wave to us and we'll wave back to you.
So we had a lot of good help from Lou Fry, also one of our fellow pilgrims.
So thank you so much. I love the lyrics that the Spirit sings from, calls from tomorrow as well as yesterday and today. And if there's anybody that's been responsive to that call from tomorrow, John Cobb is sure one of them. And so John has called us and calls everybody, calls the world towards something good and true and beautiful and just. John, can you say a word to close us out? And then Kat, I think will close us out, but you've got the second to the last word.
Okay. Well,
Thank you. And I do appreciate your getting Jim Manley to sing that for us. I think maybe the reason I am particularly attracted to it is that the Bible is the only source in human history of an historical understanding of God. You know, spirituality almost always is related to the unchanging aspects. But the Bible is a book of stories, of history, legend, fiction, maybe some of it. But nevertheless, it's a way of understanding how God deals with people in different times and places in different ways. And it's my view that if we don't think historically, we will not really reflect deeply on the situation that we are in, that no generation before us has been in this situation. And that makes a difference in terms of what God is calling us to do and to be. And I think that Jim captured that beautifully in that short period of time. So I consider it's the gospel that you've really heard, even though so often the gospel is formulated in non-temporal or ahistorical ways. Jesus was talking about what was needed in his time. It's not in all times, at all places. He was seeking to be the Messiah of Israel at a time when the Roman Empire was the dominant force. So thank you for including that. I was delighted to hear that John Gingrich had indicated that was his favorite song. I had no idea of that before, but when I heard that, then I just jumped on it. I said, let's include it, please. So thank you all for doing that.
Yeah. Hey, and John, thank you for all that you do for so many of us, for all of us actually. So this is dedicated to you in a way, a Cobb Institute Music Festival in appreciation of the work of John Cobb. Kat, you can close us out if you will.
Thank you, Jay. Thank you, John. I'm really glad that we remember John Gingrich at the end of this, because he was so supportive of me and everyone. And if John is any indication of the type of community that we have a very generous, wonderful, supportive community. And as we saw today, it's also full of talent. And I have no worry that our work will be supported and continue. Thank you all for being here. Thank you all for joining. And thank you to the musicians for the gift of music. And I hope you all have a happy holiday season.
Thank you.